And we're back. Oh yeah, we are so back. We are so back, my friends. Back to inking. So what's shaking? What's shaking, bacon? Here we are again. On the crazy ride that is called Donald Kent Arts. Before the show, I was preparing work, a design for the Tuesday show coming up. The theme is Kai Moros. I'll be playing one of his speeches on the show. It's going to be a hot potato. Watch out. Watch out, gang. Incoming. Very excited about it, though. In the speech, Kai Moros talks about Sweden and Sweden's influence on Finland, which is where Kai Moros is from. I love his accent, by the way. It's really cool. It's very strong. But anyway, talking about how Finland has to defend itself, and how influential it was in the formation of Finnish culture, which I didn't know. But I mean, that kind of all makes sense. I think countries in that region must all have a very similar, not similar history, but they share history. Just you get it. Anyway, so I'm doing some of the smaller, tedious stuff here. Anxious to move on to the next page. Is kind of a bit of a fight sequence. I don't know how well you can see it in pencil. Not a sequence per se, but it's a bit of a fight scene, I guess, because I'm basically demonstrating how the new MAGA Force in this story is not getting along with each other, that there are a lot of grifters in there, people that are just kind of there for the money, and it's a sort of a diversity quota group, and they're not getting along. They didn't get the memo that they're supposed to be the perfect example of what America is supposed to look like. That diversity is our strength. And they started arguing, and arguing leads to fighting. There's two of the characters are very kind of womanizing, and they're sort of coming on too hard to one of the female characters, and that causes a rift, and that just goes out of control. It's character development, it's all about like the way characters interact with each other, and how does that play throughout the story. So essentially throughout the story we come to discover that there's a lot of people in the group that are not even, they're basically like foreign spies and such. They're but the question is, did Judeo-Christian news know that? Are they allowing these foreign plants to come in and gather information, intel, work on certain kind of like psyops against the American people and honeypot, you know, the usual fed up bullshit, that kind of stuff. So it's pretty interesting. But I'm just feeling the pain of like, man, this is such a long project. Um, on the side, though, when I do the artwork for the Tuesday show, it kind of satisfies that itch to do fine artwork. So that's nice. But not only that, all of the work that I do on the Tuesday show, I will eventually publish in my next book. So there you go. See, I went to college. You're so smart. Double dipping. Anxious to see what this book looks like colored as well. I'm kind of waiting on payment to reinvest in these pages. When you freelance, you get some work, and then you put it back into your business. So getting this colored is really going to be it's going to show people like, that's what it is. That's what I'm getting, so to speak. So it would be nice to have that done. Yeah. And I found a really good colorist who's from South Africa. His prices are reasonable and the quality is good. So I can't wait to throw some money at him. Get him off and running. I'm not sure if I'm going to stick with this music. But it's adding a lot of drama to the inking story as sort of a background. James Espinoza, hey, yes, my man from Instagram Man, how we doing, bro? Good to see ya. Cool beans. I guess on a Monday at it's like almost 12:30 where I am. There's probably most people are working, so maybe not the ideal time for a stream, but I'm off today right now, so I'm gonna use the time that I have to get some work done. How you doing today, James? What's shaking? I'm feeling pretty good. Great to hear it. How are you? Oh, I'm well rested. You know how you work for a week and then at the end of the week you're a bit burned out and then you get a real nice sleep. You get to sleep in a bit. So I have that nice, well-rested feeling, you know what I'm saying? And mentally I'm kind of in a place of okay, what's next? Where did I leave off? What's my next thing I need to concentrate on? Something. So I got some really good business stuff on the side. It's coming together real nice. I'm very happy about that. What else? My son is all set with his projects and his things, so he's good. He's in the clear. What else? Yeah, it's just sort of, I don't know, watching what's going on, but trying not to get like sucked into it too much. That's kind of the thing, where you're like, all right, how do I live in the world but not be of it, Because you get the news, you see the news, and you're like, that son of a bitch, or that terrible thing, or, one problem after the next, and it adds up. There's a certain, I don't know what to call it, like psychological technology, I guess, that you somehow have to figure out how to observe these things without getting like so wrapped up in them that they become poisonous to you. And that, I think, is the whole trick. There's a trick to stop getting sucked in to the point where you become like a bitter, angry, negative person. There's a side of me that says, yeah, but that means you're human. Like, if you don't have any moral reaction to what's going on in the world, that's kind of inhuman. You know what I'm saying? But it's a type of what's the word I'm looking for? Like I guess like not a trap, but it's like quicksand or something. If you kind of step into it too deeply, you're gonna drown. So it's dangerous in that regard, especially if you're trying to live a life that has some kind of spiritual quality to it, some spiritual nature to it. I guess that's what's on my mind. It's just thinking through that stuff. Going dancing this weekend, so I got something to look forward to. That's always a fun thing for me. A friend of mine who's a DJ it's her birthday, and so she, come out to the show, that kind of thing, so that's nice. And then there's another DJ that I really like who's going to be playing that night as well. And like, it's funny because I talked about this on another show. There was a time when, this is quite a while ago, but like, I was at a show or whatever, and I'm dancing up a storm, having a good time. And he came up to me afterwards and he's like, dude, will you please come to all my shows? Because like, you vibe so hard out there that like, it gets everybody, revved up, psyched up. Everybody's like excited, and like you bring it. So like, I was kind of flattered by that. I'm just having a good time. I'm not like, I don't know, maybe I should pay. Maybe I should charge for going to shows. In my resume, I'll be like, I'll break the ice. I'll get everyone on the dance floor. What's the for real? I'm just checking your comments. I gotta give me a second. Let me read the comments here. Hey, thanks. Cool Comics, my channel's here. Oh, I don't know, maybe later drink a Soylent. Yeah, Soylent is people. James says, for real, that's all fake and gay, haha, and lame, yeah, I agree. Let's check this comment here. Oh God, here we go. This one. I just saw this on Twitter today. Put a chick in it, make her gay, and make it lame. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the new Marvel movie Eternals 2, and then there's one that just came out. It's like 3 women, and everyone's kind of annoyed. Charge for Dancing, yes, I know. So, I mean, I've said this on Twitter that essentially, like, Marvel makes its money from the movies, so it doesn't need to make money from the comics. And the comics have become, like, just almost entirely propaganda now. It's almost entirely run by, like, angry feminists and the like. And there's John Della Rose is a big guy in the comics gate scene. I did a Kickstarter comic with him, and if you look him up, he's got a great post on this topic. I don't know who the woman's name is. She's got like screaming red hair, and she's like those kind of typical cat's eye glasses or whatever that those kind of feminists wear. And she's got that sort of screaming soy type face. And he made some kind of comment about like, no wonder it's like this or whatever, or like, oh, if this is the person writing the story, then why the hell would of course I'm not gonna like the story, da 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 da. And when will it end? It won't until we end it, So like this sort of, I don't know if this is the good news per se, but the flip side of it is that all this shit entertainment from Hollywood, Marvel, etc., is forcing the public to look elsewhere, for entertainment, and so hence Comicsgate and this and that and the other thing. So it's I always try to point out that that's a testament to the power of art and entertainment. How blah blah blah. You get the idea. So it is what it is. How long can you go saying it is what it is? Oh boy. Ironically, that's what this scene is about. That's what this whole thing is about. Is they're in the Judeo-Christian News studios and making like a hot new commercial to debut the new diverse MAGA Force, for Conservative Incorporated, and that's kind of what I'm trying to represent here, is that the way that it works, the way that the media works, and how it's all about social engineering, You get the idea. Music's a little sinister, though. I think I might have to change it. It's kind of... I guess it makes some sense in terms of the... whatever, the sinisterness of the way the media works. Sinisterness, is that a word? We just make up words on this show. My channel will tell you, he's got good grammar. Smart dude. I'm going to check the chat in a second here. Oh, there you go. Hang tight. Let's see. Gay, put a chicken head. That's the Catman mashup with Kathleen Kennedy. There you go. Hippocratic Oath, welcome. Disney doesn't make money from the movies either. Yeah, it's like, it's, I don't know. I suppose there's a side of me that's like enjoying watching them implode in a way, like that, like when they have one flop after the next. What's fucked up is like they can't help themselves. You know, it's like, oh, okay, what did we do wrong? Let's make another one just like the last one. Yeah, that'll work. Yeah. Disney isn't Disney. You know, it's not. Nothing is what it used to be. Everything is a fucking psyop now. Everything's a Jew psyop. You know. You understand. I mean, it's kind of annoying because you guys know, and my audience knows. My audience is savvy, but like anybody who doesn't know what's going on and they come to this channel and they're like, "Oh, how could you say that?" You know, it's like, well, because it's true, but you just. Anyway, there you go, and there you go. Man, I guess I'm longing for an age that is gone, to the past. It's like this kind of retro techno stuff has that kind of 80s flavor to it that people seem to love. I think that's a kind of nostalgia, you know. Anyway. So yeah, I'm just kind of in that zone where I'm kind of waiting on a few things to come through for me, and then I'll feel a lot more, you know, settled down. I think this page is almost done. Yeah. What do I mean by that? So, I'm starting a new business, and there were a lot of technical issues that came up that slowed everything down. And it's like, you know, you can do the right thing and you can have the right people and you can, you know, you got the money and you do whatever it is to set up your thing. And then like the website or the processor or the this or the that, it's just, you know, like, oh, well, you know, this didn't work and you didn't press that button and you gotta go back and start over, and you know, like that kind of technical shit that drives me out of my mind, you know. So that's the shit. It's, I don't know, like I've got pretty good luck, I guess, but then when it comes to machines and shit, it's like when things don't work the way they're supposed to, I get very frustrated. But I'm past all that. All that stuff's pretty much worked out now, and now it's just setting up meetings and hooking up, you know, contracts and this and that. So it's good. That's just good. I haven't been able to spar though, which has been bumming me out. My team used to meet in the park, and then the weather got shit, and now we're like, well, we need to find a place. One dude, he goes to a local college, and we're trying to see if we can use the gym at the college. To be real honest with you, the college is filled with a certain demographic that kind of makes it dangerous for me to go on campus. So I guess I'm a little wary about that, but I don't know. I'll work it out, I guess. You know, it's like if you're in the park, it's public. There's families, kids, and we had a really nice, secluded location that like only we kind of know about, and not really a high traffic location, so it was nice, very private for sparring. And uh, so having to go to say like a college gym, is, you know, there's probably going to be other people there, you know, and then they see a bunch of guys sparring. You just don't know. You're going to have some like 20-year-old ghetto kid come up and try to challenge you, you know, like that kind of shit. You know what I'm talking about, right? Yeah. So, the kind of one of the angles there is that, like, well, there's, you know, there's three of us. So, actually four, depending on who can show up. But, so presumably, you know, if there's like four martial arts dudes in one place, we're not going to get challenged, you know. But these monkeys are, they don't give a shit. They're just, plus they have friends, you know. They're, hey, let's go over there and let's do some shit, you know, that kind of, because it's a culture of cruelty. But anyway, the other side of it, though, is that the dudes that I work out with are Hispanic, so they're not like, you know what I mean. If it's like, if they were all white guys, maybe it would signal the the groids to come and try to fight, you know. But maybe that has an angle to it. I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna check the chat. Oh, we got a lot of convo going down. I'm missing all the fun. James says it's like what Catholic professor and writer of Culture Wars magazine says. There's definitely a shift in the consciousness. Yeah, hugely. Logos is rising. Very well said, Dr. E. Michael Jones. Woohoo. My channel, I had too much Soylent and sugar. Can't think. Processed sugar is super bad for you, bro. Well, I know you know that. Anyway, boy, that seriously, though, had some butter blended with sugar, and it makes me feel... Yeah, sugar's a thing. James, I don't agree with his view with Roman Catholicism and hope for the West, to be honest, but he's definitely a major proponent of propagating the noticing. He's based in Gigachad. Yeah, James, if you don't mind me asking, are you Christian, Catholic? Like, where are you in that scale? Winter's Crusader 21 is here. Always happy to have you. It's such a good time. Howdy. James says he's kind of like an old Nick Fuentes. Ha! Fascinating. What an interesting... Oh my God, those two should get together for a Christmas special. My channel, Donald, you going to stream on Cozy? People have been asking me this. I need to step up my game. My show is... I mean, I've got 2 regular shows, plus I stream art a lot. I've been looking into, what's the frickin' channel called? It's not Cozy. This happens to me all the time, just when I need to perform, I blank out. What are the other alternative channels out there? Not Odyssey. There's a lot of, like, Patriots on the fucking... Goddamn, I can't remember the name of it. I disagree. I love the music from the 80s synthwave, the aesthetics. Okay, Robert Pyle, welcome. Throwing a Roman at you, Robert. Colin Bruder's here. Excellent. My German buddy is here. Good to have you. Okay, Robert says, I think YouTube was being dosed because you are streaming. YouTube was down when it first got on 10 minutes ago. That's curious. I'm not a Christian. I am a Neoplatonist. Wonderful. Neoplatonist, great. Like Keith Woods. Das ist gut. Yeah, there's a lot of weird sabotagey things that go on, you know, with this social media stuff. This kind of another side of it is, like, in some ways you almost don't want to be too big because you don't want, you know, a lot of attention from the powers that be. What is that damn channel called? I just set up an account with it. What is it called? My buddy has a channel on it. I don't know why does my mind work like this? It's like super super smart about all kinds of shit, but I can't remember the name of a video channel. I guess I am an idiot savant. It's not easy being a savant. Oh, this is a good song. Great tune. So, 80s music. I'm really, I don't know. I mean, like, I think 80s was a great time for punk rock. It was like, in my view, kind of, I know like punk rock started actually more in like the 70s, but from my view, I think that that was like a kick-ass era for that. There were some really great bands. I'm a huge fan of the Police. They had a good run there. I didn't care for Synchronicity. That for me was kind of commercial. I think it lost that kind of punk edge that they had. But what else? Like there was good music and stuff. But there was also a lot of kind of corporate shit, basically. So like when I think of the '80s, I think of like corporate interference with music. Like, all right, everything is gonna have to have electric drums and synthesizers now. And I was like, So for me, for my money, the '70s was the best period in American music. I think that's when it all came together in terms of like, I guess the soul of rock and roll. There was just like so many great talents that all came out at the same time. So that's where I'm at. I've been writing a lot of new songs, and I'm really curious as to like how would somebody describe my music. I guess indie rock is kind of the closest thing you can say, but like I listen to a lot of classic rock. I grew up on classic rock, so I don't think of myself as an indie rock guy per se. I mean, I don't fit any kind of mold, but so on the topic of music though, my keyboard player from my old band, I've talked about him on this show. Every time I see him, he's like, "So let's get a band together," and I'm like, "I don't have time." I finally scheduled like a hangout session with him because I'm like, I don't want to be that friend that like every time you call, I'm busy or something. Like you have to fucking set aside time for your friends. Whatever the shit is. Like and I'm not saying I don't want to be with him, but rather that every time he wanted to get together, I had something else going on, and I'm like, I can't keep disappointing him. You get the idea. So last Friday, I came home from work, burned out, and I forgot that we had an appointment to go see a band. And like later that night, I look at my phone and it says, "Hey, are you coming?" And that feeling of like, oh shit, I did it again. That burns me bad, man. That burns me. So I'm sorry, this is just way too irritating. And I felt like I owe it to this guy now. So now I'm like, look, dude, let's get together and jam. Okay, I got a bunch of new songs. I just got a new amplifier. I know you want to do music. I'm interested in recording. I want to record my new songs. So that's cool. Anyway, that's my story. We got a lot of comments here. A philosopher, very good, James. I can sense that. Hippocratic Oath, kick, enter, connect, fix. Rumble is the one. Rumble, you nailed it. Oh, it fucking pissed me off. Why can't I think of Rumble? It's like so simple. Anyway, yeah, Rumble is I just set up a new channel. I haven't populated it, but I'm trying to migrate my YouTube videos over there. band TV. What would you guys say is the best alternative video channel that I should go to? Like I don't really. I think Fuentes is on Cozy, right? Locals, okay. I'm a punk rocker myself. Good to hear it. I'm always in black. I wear a lot of black too, actually. I don't know, I vibe with it. But Robert says both 70s and 80s were pretty cool. Alice Cooper came out in the 70s after all, or at least that's when he became popular. Yes, I believe he did. Planning on making a band with a friend of mine from upstate New York. No kidding, he's based as fuck. Yeah, so it's weird. I had an Odyssey account, and something happened a while back that made me shut it down. And now I went back and I'm like, oh, I want to get back on, and I'm trying to start a new channel, and I don't know. It's a little too hard to explain, but I'm trying to use a different email. I don't know. Like I said, it's too hard for me to explain how that is. It's just kind of not working. So I'm gonna go with Rumble. I think Rumble. Rumble also has some kind of, oh, I don't know. It's like a way to monetize your channel. So I'm gonna look into that. Um, a really close friend of mine locally has a Rumble channel, and I can just kind of talk to him about, like, hey, what do you do about this, or how do you do that, and da da da. So it's kind of helpful. Maybe I can turn it up a little more now. So I got a buddy who, this is crazy, it's so nice. He just gave me an amplifier. And it's nice because it's like what you call a practice amp, so it's small-ish. It's not, I don't know, how, like 12 by 12 kind of thing. But it's just so damn good. It's super, super good. It's got all these great effects, like sound effects on it that are sick. And like my guitar, my electric guitar, needs some work. I need to kind of take it in and have. It's hard to explain, but like with the weather and humidity, the strings kind of rise up off the neck, and then it's harder to press down to form the chords and stuff. So if you're a guitar player, you know what I'm talking about. It's a thing. But anyway, so I got a guy that like can do that. But again, I'm sort of waiting on this one business thing to pay off, and then I'm gonna start spending some moolah. But back to the keyboard player guy thing. He's a real sweet guy. He's like a real nice guy. He's not political or whatever. He's sort of genuinely like conservative in that kind of sense, whatever. He's a bit older and different generation. Good heart and fun to play with. And he's got like really sick equipment. He's always in like at least 2 different bands at one time. So yeah. Anyway, that's what it is. And then one of my drummer friends. I've got a few. This is another guy who's like, dude, let's start a band. Come on, man. Da 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 da. And I'm always like, oh, I don't have time. And I don't have time, but I do have time to record my music. So I'm, saying, hey, bud, do you know anybody who has like recording equipment? I'd like to get something hooked up with you. So it's nice when you got friends that are in the know, they're connected, and the like. But the thing is, I don't want to like just play with anybody. The content of my music has a fairly explicit white identity theme to it, and or you know, anti-globalist theme. There's a political thread there, you know, and you know, in the arts, there's a lot of liberals, and you know, one of my drummers, his wife is Jewish, you know, and all this stuff like that. So it's just a thing, you know. I don't want to feel nervous around anybody. I want to be completely in my own zone, you know, making my music my way, you know. So we'll see how it all pans out. There's just never enough fucking time in the day to get everything done. It's so frustrating. That's literally my whole game plan. Is like when I'm rich, I'm just gonna do art and music all day, every day, you know. And that's a goal, you know. That's a good thing. Some years ago, excuse me, I worked in a factory. Well, factory. I worked for a business, and I was the kind of web designer guy. Um, I created like marketing materials and stuff for the company, and I had all kinds of great ideas. And you know, a lot of people in business, they don't have any vision. You know, like you can say, hey, we could do this, and I got all these skills and ideas, and they're not very bright people. They don't have any sense of like, oh, that's new and different and exciting and catchy. Like, yeah, let's do that. You know, it's almost never like that. But where am I going with this? Yeah, but anyway, there was one guy on in the company who was like closer to my age, cool guy, very cool dude, and like I think he could probably be part of our movement. You know, he's pretty savvy. Although this was long before I got into the identitarian scene. But I remember him. I overheard him speaking to another coworker about my art, and because I'm doing these sort of marketing proposals and showing all this cool stuff we could be doing. And he's talking in the next room to another employee and saying like, "Oh my God, did you see Don's artwork on that project?" Da da da. And they're like, "Oh, it's so amazing! It's so great." And then the dude says, "What a waste of talent!" And oh God, that went through me like a fucking spear. Like it just like a knife right through my heart. There was something about. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't trying to be offensive. It wasn't like that. It was just the reality of like, why the fuck am I giving my talent and my time away to these shitheads who are just fucking garbage people? Like the boss of that job was a gay Jew crackhead, and I'm not kidding. I know that sounds retarded, but it was true. A gay Jew crackhead, and like he was constantly in trouble with the law, and you know he was ripping off other companies and screwing people left and right financially and on da 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 da. And you know, in the end, I lost that job, and I was like, well, that's you know, I mean, it's like okay, you know, whatever, like. Pretty creepy shit, though. Anyway, the point of it, though, is you know, hearing like what a waste of talent. That there's something about that that upset me so much that I thought, you know what, fuck this. I've got to do something. I can't live like this. And that really pushed me into the freelance world a lot. So. You know, my freelance career, I guess, is or side gig or whatever, really got moving after that because I'm like, I can't do this anymore, you know. So there's probably a lot of fun convos going on. CG's here. Good morning. Good morning to the left coast. Great to have you, my friend. What else is going on? Getting back to the convo here in the chat. Yeah, so punk rock, 80s. BitChute's really clunky. I've got like a couple videos on there, but I just abandoned it. Kick or Cozy? I've never heard of Kick. I'll have to check that out. So maybe I should look into Cozy. Cozy is Nick's platform. Like he owns the platform. He runs it. Shut it down. I should put my work in front of the Groiper crowd. I feel like they would support my art a lot. Shut it down. You can monetize on Odyssey as well. Yes. James says, have you read British revisionist historian David Irving's book, Hitler's War? I would love to if I had 100 extra hours on, just to give away. I listen to audiobooks, lectures, podcasts while I do this. I have a couple books that I have to read and are in my studies and stuff, but I wouldn't mind. Maybe you can give me the lowdown on that. That'd be interesting. It's an awesome read. I'm a huge fan of Uncle A, especially esotericism, Vril Society, that kind of stuff. Hippocratic Oath says Odyssey will automatically load. Yes, I know about that. My channel does. It have the Oy vey effect. Share and hit the like button. Yeah, guys, it's always about that. It's always about that. Let's fool the algorithm into liking this channel. If you're in an 80s band, do you have to show up since it's all synth? Robert says you could be the new Roger Waters. Dude, you just hit a sweet spot right there. I don't know how many of you know this, but I'm like a crazy massive Pink Floyd fan. Like insane. I mean, maybe not so much now as when I grew up. When I was in high school, I had a older cousin, and of course my brother's older, and I would go hang out with them, and the older cousin kind of sat me down and played Dark Side of the Moon for me, and at the time, on top of it, my other, like his sister, my other cousin, I'm looking for the book, it should be handy, damn it. Well, she had like these books of like fantasy illustration art, and I would sit and look at these. Here, I'll hold on. This is cool. Watch it. So like, let me back out a bit, and you guys can see what I'm talking about. So like, fantasy illustration. And I would listen to Dark Side of the Moon while I'm looking at like crazy, amazing fantasy illustration art. And that's kind of what, like, that was like my awakening, sort of, as a young artist. The soundtrack, like even this music is like a soundtrack to this kind of art. And I don't know how old I was, 11, 12-ish, maybe around 11. And the combination of the music and the art, I just can't even describe to you like what a profound coming of age experience that was for me when I was young. And so I got hooked on Pink Floyd. you know, I have to say I'm not like a big fan of like the Sid Barrett years and like everything up to Obscured by Clouds is kind of goofy, and I don't care for that early stuff. But Obscured by Clouds, Echoes. That's one of my favorite all-time albums is Animals, and Animals is like one of the most underappreciated albums, and of course with Floyd, but of like in rock and roll. It's kind of like anyway. I learned a lot of my sort of anti-establishment ideas, and but also there's this deep, deep humanism to Pink Floyd. I don't know about that picture, but anyway, that's kind of cool. And it really, I just can't even describe to you like what a big impact it had on me. Look at that shit. That's a joke. Um, anyway, I guess you guys are getting the point. So, like, when you said I could be the next Roger Waters, I was like, split my wig, kind of. But yeah, so let's move on here. And after looking at all that beautiful work, now you gotta look at this shit. Oh, what a disappointment. Anyway, let's check the chat. I should stop checking the chat and just get back to work. Morning. Da-da-da. Will do, Donald. I'm an S for real. Good stuff. Yeah, this is a great conversation. What I'm interested in is how the policies of National Socialism could be updated, used for America today. Uncle A Enjoyer. There's the name of our band, Uncle A Enjoyer, right there. There you go. Robert Pyle, you ever listen to Dark Side of the Moon while watching Wizard of Oz? That's so bizarre, dude. That's so crazy. I did, try, like, kind of like checked it out once, just for the, just to be goofy and be like, oh, I heard about this. It's on YouTube, and it's ridiculous how well it matches up. It's like freaky, and not only is it freaky how perfectly the music matches the film Wizard of Oz, it sort of recontextualizes it. Music has an interesting kind of power. For example, there's something really funny I saw online yesterday where somebody took the film The Shining and they made like a new trailer out of it, but they put like comedy music over it, and they selectively kind of cut different scenes of it to put the trailer together to make it look like it was like on a family trip, a frustrated writer can't get any peace, and see how he finds out that when you're all alone with your family, you need to get inspiration and check out The Shining. And like The Shining, the tone and meaning of it was like, like you should shine, let your creativity shine, be like the sun is nothing like the actual meaning of the movie. It was brilliant, but it was crazy how the music changed the entire context of it. Now, granted, whatever the scenes were selectively put together or whatever, this and that. But anyway, I guess that proves my point. When I actually saw Pink Floyd The Wall in the theater years ago, when I was in my Pink Floyd phase, and there's that whole sequence where Pink becomes like kind of a what's the word? They don't even have a name for the guy. The guy with the hammers and the black suit, and he does his speeches, and the scene in you guys must know what I'm talking about. And when I was young and in a theater watching that, I was like, I don't know what the word is for this, but I was like, I'm liking this too much. Why am I liking this so much? Why is this so powerful? and I'm like vibing so much with this. There must be something wrong with me. Like when I first saw Star Wars, I was as like a kid or whatever. I was very very conflicted, thinking, why do I like Darth Vader better than any other character? Like, is there something wrong with me? Oh shit, and other people are like, well, the bad guys are usually the most interesting characters. Um, they, from like a literary perspective, bad guys they have to be very well developed, to make it like, if the hero doesn't have any kind of challenge, then like he's not really a hero. You're not gonna respect him, so to speak. Would it be cool to see my graphic novel turned into a blockbuster film? Yes. That is the end game of all graphic novels, is to have a film made out of it. If you go to the San Diego Comic-Con, that's your hope, is that some dudes from Hollywood are going to come down and buy the rights to your story. I gotta say, like, it's pretty weird though, because like I know a dude who he's a TV producer, and he wants to hire me to do storyboards for a Netflix pitch that he's doing, and obviously if I do that, I'm gonna kind of get my foot in the door with that crowd. You know what I'm saying? And I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I'm also kind of like, that you better be careful who you're working with. You know what I'm talking about? You could be dancing with the devil. So, but I'm savvy enough to know what's up, and of course, being the idealistic me, I'm thinking like, oh yeah, I'm gonna do some kind of like white identity Netflix movie story, something, and I'm like, no, they're not gonna, But it did occur to me, like, well, let's say I made a killing doing something, some kind of story. Then I can use that money to do the other stuff, to create a production company of artists in our sphere, and make more big budget media for us. You know what I'm saying? Imagine a white identitarian Netflix. All right, I gotta check the chat. The movie The Wall was pretty cool too. When I build my art school, I'm going to include the movie in that library and make it mandatory watching at the end of the year. I will gladly be a professor at your art school. You ever watch Alice Cooper's The Nightmare? I might have. I feel like I saw that a long, long time ago. I'll have to look it up again. I watch that once every year on oh, that's a total Halloween treat right there. I'm gonna include that one in my art school too. Good. Here's a crazy story. Some years ago, a friend in the movement uh, got in touch with me about this. Excuse me. This guy who is like a multi-millionaire, and she was like, reach out to this guy about, funding for some kind of, art media related project. And I did. And I'm not, of course, going to name any names or whatever. But I just have this experience all the time. I meet like super rich people, and they're almost always like sociopaths. They're just like, and this guy's like on our side too. He's like, but and I'm just going about it in a very professional way. I built, or rather, I put together an entire proposal, with all this stuff, da 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 da, and it's like when people have that kind of money, they somehow want to turn it into like a show, like a sort of they want people to pander over them and like fall all over them and be like, oh, I want this and I want that, and I'm being your buddy so I can get money from you for the things that I want. And they get off on that. It's a really gross kind of sociopathic behavior. But I've seen it more times than I care to recall. And here I'm like, at one point I finally got sick of the game, and I was like, dude, if you're fucking on board with this, like, tell me now, because I'm not gonna keep fucking around. Like, I'm not a piece of shit. I don't give a fuck about your stupid fucking ego, and I'm not your beta. I'm not part of your club. Your ego club. And I don't know what it is in my life. I seem to attract people that want to control me. They want to shut me down, or they want to misdirect me, or kind of. It's just fucking weird. I just don't get it. I have to kind of concentrate on not manifesting these kinds of fuckers, But when you have, I don't know, maybe this is something about my talent or something. People with money, they wish they had talent. You know what I mean? They want to be you. They're like, well, look, the next best thing is you can fund me. And we can work together. But like, right now you're just sabotaging me. And I don't appreciate that. I'm not gonna stick around for that. In the end, I was like, look, man, like, throw me $1,000 a month, and I'll put together something on that budget. Like, if you're sort of like, oh, I'm not sure, the excuses are bullshit. Like, every time I would have a phone meeting with him, he would just blather on about like how badass he is and all the things that all the money he has, and I'm like, okay, that's fine. So let's get down to bit. Let's get to work here. Oh, well, there's trust in people and this and that. And I'm like, you're just bragging, and like we're not getting anything done. pretty much figured out after a while that this guy's a fucking retard. You know, I'm not gonna associate with him. So the Netflix guy is not. He's highly intelligent, very business oriented, very good kind of people skills. Also filthy rich, but not so much of the douchebaggery. Thank God, you know. I can work with him. You know, he's a nice guy, and it's sort of more fun. You know, when you're working with like a decent person. Um, how is it all gonna play out? I wonder. So I'm kind of in a place with my own work right now where like I don't want to stop what I'm doing. Um, I did. I don't want to let the cat out of the bag, but like there's another uh, sort of big name in our sphere who has a potential project for me, and I'm like, you know, I'm totally into it. I'm down, but I have my own publishing stuff, so it's gonna have to be 50-50. You know, like I'll do your work half time and I'll do my work half time. So kind of waiting on him to decide what he wants to do. See how that goes. But I'm not sacrificing my work. Um, I've kind of sold my skills. I sold my pencil out for a good while, and that's all fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm grateful for the work, in fact, you know. But it's like shit. If I just keep doing this year after year, I'll never have anything of mine out there. You know, got so many stories to tell, and obviously I've got the skill to tell them. So. Might be wrapping up pretty soon here. Actually got a text that somebody couldn't make it into work, and I'm gonna go in and cover half of their shift. So you see what a nice guy I am. No, that's fine. But I really enjoy hanging out with you guys. I've got the best people on my channel. It's always good to talk with you guys. I'm gonna just check the chat here, and I think I'll wrap it. What's going on? The movie, The Wall, we did that. Halloween. Artists usually do not get along with this new elite class that we have in our society now, even if they are their biggest clients. Yeah. You see that video of that artist that puts his work in a paper shredder at an auction when it reached a certain bid? This is fucking. And then it's like, how much more can you say that the art world is a joke? I'm gonna get some tape and put a banana on a wall and charge someone 10,000 for that. I think he did that because he hated all of the patrons that are part of the new elite class. Oh, okay, that I didn't know. Anyway, so on that wonderful note, I will see you guys next time. I am doing the show tomorrow at noon. And so it's going to be very cool. I'll be playing Kai Morris's speech. It's one of his rare speeches. It's about Sweden and taking back Europe, and it's very controversial stuff. So it's going to be a hot potato. Anyway, hope you guys can make it. If not, check out the replay. I've got some great art coming down the line for you, and I enjoy and appreciate your company. So have a good one, and see you next time.